on. Oh, we're just starting right over.
Yep.
Oh my.
Nice.
I was unprepared for this. Welcome to Red Valkyrie Presents, everybody. Apparently, we're jumping straight into the reveal. Why are we doing it this way, Si?
Cuss.
Impatient little bitch. Got you. Well,
Fine.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a format for a reason. Si, how are you today?
I'm doing great. You do understand my finger is on the remove button right now.
Of course it is. Of course it is. And Mr. Luke Stone, how the hell are you, sir?
Oh, I am finer than frog hair split 4 ways.
Wow.
I don't know what that means, so
That means I'm pretty darn fine. That's
Okay.
a very southern saying. I learned that when I moved here. I also learned, "Oh, bless your heart," which I thought was a really sweet thing, but no,
It's
it just
not.
means you're stupid. Yeah.
That's not. Yeah, that's never sweet. It's the most.
No.
Here's the funny thing. I think women just inherently know. What is this? Look at
I'm examining the
Bisexual
bisexual lighting. Yeah.
the lighting
Yep.
is. Yep. Yeah.
Bisexual lighting.
I was
But,
gonna say
I'm not, but I like the lighting.
the lighting is pretty. It's okay. You don't have to. Sweetie, I'm not bisexual either, and I also do the same color lighting. It's fine. Like that's
Nice, yeah.
actually the case in my computer case is the same colors.
I watch Queer Eye. I like it.
Look, they got some
I
good
know-
style tips. Okay?
I know how to take care of my hair because of them.
Very nice.
I do, yeah.
What I was going to say about the bless her heart, I think that every woman is born inherently knowing what that means. Because even when I was small and somebody was like, oh, bless her heart, and I was like, that wasn't nice. I was like,
Back
that
home we
was
used to-
mean.
Back home, I used to say, "Well, it's a good thing you're pretty."
Yes.
That's, I was like, "Oh, it's a good thing you're pretty." That's actually a little more demeaning to some of the guys, like the really masculine farm type guys, living there in the farmlands. It's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's a good thing you're pretty." What did you say to me? Well, I'll talk slower next time.
I said you got a pretty mouth.
Oh, my goodness. Real quick, I want to say hi to people in the chat because we've got Frog G. How are you doing, sir? It is wonderful to see you. Some douche named Cyborg Valkyrie. We don't care about.
Oh, how's it going, Luke? It's so much.
It's going
quieter.
pretty good, actually.
Damn! Eric the Guapo, hello, how are you? I love Eric every time. I wonder what the stream will be about. No idea. No idea.
It literally could be about anything because I do not stay on topic at all.
It's going to be about blue stormtroopers.
It's going to be a lot going on.
Blue Stormtrooper.
Yes.
And pink walls.
Tarks9, what is up? We got Dragon Multimedia. Got some good people.
Some asshole named Red Valkyrie.
Yeah, we don't care about them either. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, look, we're right back to where we started.
That we are. Are you ready? Are you ready for the reveal?
Oh God, am I doing the
We
Christmas
have to do the
vacation
drum roll.
roll?
That's how.
Okay.
That's what gives me the time.
Drum roll.
Oh, Serafina, nice.
You know, just tried a little some. Can I just say,
Yeah.
doing this in an hour, 2 hours. Don't ever try to make a giant set of wings in 2 hours, guys. It's horrible.
It's impressive, actually,
Thank
that you made those in 2 hours.
Thank you.
It takes me 2 hours to draw those things. Not really, but close.
I mean, it would take me 2 hours for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are fucking hilarious. I love it. Everybody's now just joining in on the ridiculousness. I know.
I do it like the grandpa.
So we're here because despite COVID and all of the ridiculousness that you've been through, you just can't stop creating.
Screw COVID. Can't put me down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is parts 1 through 3.
It is. It is part 3. So a lot of people know my IP. Some people don't. In case you're out there and you don't know what this is, I'm a big fan of like ancient aliens and all that weird, like lore, weird stuff, unexplainable things about history and religion. And so I took that verse in the Bible in Genesis where it talks about the sons of God seeing the daughters of men and wanting to have babies with them. And I mean, I don't blame them at all.
Wow.
So, we could see where that would happen. And so I took that idea that would happen, and that those creatures were called the Nephilim, and the Nephilim were the kind of some people think were the real life inspiration for the Greek gods.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, well that's pretty cool. Let's go from there. And so basically in my universe, the Nephilim continued to have babies, but it wasn't always with other Nephilim. Sometimes it was with the daughters of men.
Yeah.
And they, that DNA just watered down over time, and then there's a manufactured event that causes people to start having babies. I mean, I read that. I started reading the comment. I want to have babies with the
I
daughters
want to
of
have
men as
babies
well.
with the daughters of men as well. Yes.
Guilty. Yes,
Fair.
guilty. Yeah,
Fair
fair
enough.
enough. Yeah. Uh, uh, yeah, fair enough. So anyway, a manufactured. Man, I'm totally sidetracked. I'm thinking about the daughters of men now. I'm like, guys, if you're just go on without me. I'm done. I'm done. Yeah, I'll be in La La Land for the rest of the night.
Right?
Yeah, beautiful ladies.
Hey Shae,
Hmm.
I just sent you a DM.
Okay.
All right.
Look.
So yeah. Anyway, what was I saying?
Very, very nice. Sorry.
Oh,
I just took a picture of myself with bisexual lighting because I have two LED
He's
lights
also
in
got
my
the bisexual lighting
Nice,
going.
nice,
See,
nice,
we're
nice.
all. I would do it, but this is the only room that I don't have the smart lights, so I can't. And I was looking at changing out because these overhead lights are hideous, and they're appalling. I was gonna change them out, and it's gonna cost me like $200 to do that. And I was like, oh, those might be staying for a while.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
It's because
That's a lot
they're
of money.
Well, they're the inset ones, and they're not the inset ones that are like a converter set. It's like, no, the whole thing. And so you have to replace the entire apparatus.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a lot. It's a lot of work. I don't know that I'll do that.
It is a lot of work.
But I'd have better lighting because this is really harsh.
Hersh.
Yeah, it's like my room, especially at night, is very dark.
Yeah.
So what lights my face is my screen and my drawing tablet. So that's what's lighting my face. So it's like really all you can see is the beautiful lighting in the background.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
And Bob, my stormtrooper, lit up in blue.
Yes.
So yeah,
It's
that's
okay.
what you can see. See, I told you I can't stay on topic.
It's fine.
I can't do it. I just can't do it.
It's
The
cool.
ADHD is worse post COVID.
I
There's something
believe
about being in a coma for 6 weeks that'll,
Well,
when you come back,
it's
everything
like your
resets.
ADHD didn't have an outlet, and so it's just like, oh, wait,
Yeah.
we're conscious again. This is what I held
You
on
stored
to
it all
for
up, yeah.
all
Yeah, it's
this
like wait a second, I'm still alive. Squirrel. You just want to take in. You want to take in everything, and yeah,
Oh my god. With
That's what she
birthing people?
I
okay, well that makes sense. That makes
okay.
sense because you
Thank
can't
you,
say.
Master Dan.
Well, because you can get canceled saying women these days. I don't know, like what's going on.
Oh, not
Yeah.
over here. You can't.
No.
So
Birthing people. He wants to have babies with birthing people.
you know what?
That makes
I
sense. I
actually,
get it.
I feel like birthing people. I feel like I should be taking offense to that.
You should.
Why?
Right?
I'm
No.
not a birthing people. But
You're
she
not a
is.
birthing people. The Shae is.
Yeah.
Well,
So that means past Master Dan.
that's
never
too
mind.
bad.
Yeah, let's not.
Never mind.
That's too bad, past Master Dan. You're gonna have to go back down that list to someone else. No, and I don't think that
I
can birth
tease, I'm
anyway,
teasing.
so sorry.
I've got a
What's that,
squirrel
24
out
hours?
back.
Oh, okay. Let's move on.
Girls aren't birthing people.
All right,
Oh,
so
no, anyway. Hybrids, yeah.
Hybrids 3.
A manufactured event causes these people that have like this recessive DNA to start developing godlike abilities. And so in the first arc, we meet some of these characters and we get to know who they are. And we find out who's behind the manufactured event. But as soon as people start getting these powers, they start disappearing. And so they have to find out who's taking them. And in the first arc, we find that out, which is really cool. I don't want to spoil it for people, but I will. It's this demon named Azazel who's behind it all. And he is at the center of this corporation called the Hybrid Engineering Corporation. In this arc, we find out it's been 6 months since the last story, since issue 5, and so in issue 6, 7, and 8, which is what this is, parts 1, 2, and 3, we deal with the fact that there is a worse threat happening that something they didn't even realize was going on. Like, that is a global threat now, and they think they're going to put a stop to Azazel and the Hybrid Engineering Corporation. What they don't realize is Azazel, he's a smart guy, right? He's kind of the game master, and he's always been the game master, pulling strings and doing what he does. Well, he is in charge all the way to the end, and it's not very good because he tricks them, and they are getting ready to come into this place that he's calling the killing field. Okay, they're meeting at the Stardust Motel, and it is not gonna be pretty, Shae. It's not gonna be pretty. I'm saying, it's not gonna be pretty.
I believe you. So this is the character that I'm dressed as. So she's an angel, right?
Seraphina, yeah, she's not really an angel. No, she's just a person. She just happens to have wings because she has a higher percentage of Nephilim DNA.
Okay.
So Nephilim, the sons of God are angels, and angel just means messenger, right?
Right.
So the angels that came down were different species of angels. They weren't all the same. So that's why you get different things and people looking different and things like that. Gotcha. And that's also, like, we start dealing with in a later arc. That's where, like, centaurs and minotaurs and all that stuff came from, because bestiality. Some people have always been into furries. I'm just saying. And so that's kind of where all that stuff comes from, right? So we deal with that a little bit in the future arcs. But she's actually she's just a hybrid, part Nephilim. But people have a different percentage of DNA. So full Nephilim is 50-50, right? But in our world, no one has more than a 40% angelic DNA. They can't.
Okay.
So it's 40% or less is the math that we use to determine these guys, okay? She's really high. She's at like 38%. Okay, so her manifestation looks very much like her ancestors would look. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, she has wings, but she is young. She's 17. What's that? That was an
insult to most furries, Luke.
To most furries, not all furries. Just most of them. People always ask me what my fursona is, and I'm like, well, it's a grizzly bear, of course. And I always show that gif of the grizzly bear that's like walking on two legs by the bus. He's walking by, just looks in the bus and just keeps walking by. Yeah, because that's how I walk around. Apparently.
See, if I were gonna pick a bear gif, I would do the one that does the wave, and then they throw a piece of bread at him, and he snatches it out of the air, and then he waves again. He's like, "Thank you." He eats a piece of bread.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Really quick, Nita, you asked us to remind you, you're on Facebook.
Yes, feel free to like while you're over there, though.
Yeah.
Love you. So the thing that I like about the way that you handle, so I know that she's hybrid, but one of the things that I've always kind of disliked is that whenever people handle like biblical angels, they always make them these like super peaceful, floating on a cloud kind of. And I was like, dude, angels were like, a lot of them were warriors, man. Like if an angel's showing up, times are about to get real rough.
Yeah.
For wherever you are.
They either had crap to say you don't want to hear.
Yep.
In some cases, sometimes they had something really good you want to hear. In the case of like, hey, Jesus, God, he's coming to save you. So there's a baby. Go check out the baby. And they're like, what do you mean a baby? So they check out the baby, and they're like, wait a second. I thought he was supposed to come and like overthrow the government. What's a baby going to do?
No, it's not happening like that. It's
so he's like,
a small child.
He poops himself, yeah.
It's fine.
You're like, what's happening? This is God? What's going on?
Right.
Could you imagine being one of those shepherds?
No.
You're like, what is going on?
Not at all.
This is crazy.
Any of the stories that I thought of was just like, I would be so confused if that happened to me. I'd be like, oh man, like this is gonna get weird and crazy. I know. Give me a second.
So you're like, all right.
So
you're looking at your watch, like, okay, this is gonna take a while.
Well, the thing that I like about it is I have a seraphim tattooed.
Yeah.
On my upper arm, and the whole 6-winged angel. So it's got all 6 wings, and she has a giant broadsword that is just so badass. Because I was like, I don't want a floaty like whatever. I want a badass warrior.
Yeah,
one, and so
Michael
that's
is a
what I've
warrior.
got. Yes.
In fact, Michael, on behalf of God, threw Lucifer out of heaven,
Right.
and that starts to play into the story a little bit, because Azazel, is the guy that is the deceiver guy, right? He's the big time, like he's the one that talked the other angels into having sex with women, right? He didn't have to convince them too hard, but he did convincing, and throughout the things that I've studied for this to try to find out more about Azazel, he was the one that taught mankind about warfare. Is what some of the texts out there say.
So we have a question that's been up here for a while that I've got to ask you. Do you also do the inks and the colors?
I do the pencils and inks, and I have a guy named Patrick Gamma who does my colors, and he does a fantastic job on colors.
Very nice. And Sai, since you decided to highlight that, there you go. I'm apparently only a semi-skilled laborer, but very pretty though. Bless your heart, Sai. This is what I like from Shadowpunk. It says angels would spot Shae right away and be like, "Don't freak, girl. It's about to go down." And be like, "Okay, I'm freaking out, but okay."
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about Seraphina. She's 17. She's actually the daughter of one of the unpowered people in the Team Rev. So in the first arc, they break in to the place to be able to save Rev's wife and daughter. So both of them were in there, and then Ion had her little sister was in there, and Ion was working for the bad guys because Azazel. She didn't know he was Azazel yet. She just knew him as Doc because he has a human form and a demon form, and he's always uncomfortable in his human form. It's almost like he always acts like his clothes don't fit, or and so it's
he's got like starch in his collar, and he's like,
like he keeps pulling his shirt open, and he's like, and when he gets mad, he kind of contorts a little. Because he's got this other form that he's trying to hide, so we show that a few times, and hopefully I think some of the fans have caught on to that. But then so he contorts every time I draw him contorted every time he gets mad and when he's in human form. But so she was in there when they went to go save him, and so you meet her in issue 5, but she watched as her mother got dissected in front of her, so she's got some kind of jacked up like PTSD from this, right? Well, she's in the team trying to fight, and so they're kind of worried about her, like having, like flashbacks and things like that, and because she's kind of like the Swiss Army knife of supers, but like imagine that Swiss Army knife is kind of dull and wielded by somebody that doesn't know what they're doing.
That just means it hurts more.
Yeah, but so she's not super effective at everything she does. She can do a little bit of everything, but not super effective. But kind of her main thing, like her place to escape, is she found out that she could go to the astral plane, and so she has this astral plane place that she's created that she goes to, and so she can take other people there with her. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty neat aspect about her. Now that's just one of the characters. We've got pretty large ensemble. This is kind of beckons back to the days of Chris Claremont's X-Men back in the 80s and 90s. With kind of that kind of cool stuff, like multiple characters with kind of their own arcs and their own journeys. Pretty cool.
Past Master Dan says, "Does Mom know you cut up the duvet?" My mom is very proud of my cosplaying skills. I will have you know.
That's not how you spell duvet either.
No, but I'm sure he.
A good effort. I wouldn't know how to spell duvet.
It's French, so the A is an ET.
Yeah.
Duvet.
I would say duvet if I read that like a redneck. It's like when I go to like the Mexican restaurant and I order, I'll have a quesadilla.
Can I have a quesadilla and some taco?
Give me one of them fajitas.
6,000 chicken vaginas.
Vaginas. I'd like a vagina, please. It's horrible.
Quesadilla.
No. It's fajita. It's fajita. You're putting the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Sounds like you're talking about someone from DBZ.
Vegeta. Oh, that's fantastic. Look at Past Mr. Dan goes, well, spell correct, not autocorrect, but spell correct didn't change me, so it's right.
That's because it didn't know what the fuck you were trying to do. It's like, are you spelling DeVry? Yeah, that's good enough.
I
Literally.
always confuse autocorrect. Like, I will spell something so horribly wrong. Autocorrect's like, girl, we don't know. We don't know what you're trying to say.
Oh, he says fine duvet. He's got it finally. That's
I
awesome.
love it. So Shadowpunk had said in a fake-
Bondorno.
Buongiorno. I love
my
it,
gosh.
4G. Great.
Shadowpunk said that the guy on the ground is gnarly AF. So that's the
Yeah.
other thing that I really like is you're a pastor, and a lot of people have
Yeah.
thought of that as like, oh, this super holier than thou kind of thing. And like anyone who knows you is like, dude, Luke will keep it real quick with you. Like, he's very knowledgeable, obviously on Christianity and all of that, and various religions, but really Christianity.
Yeah.
And a lot of it plays into this, but at the same time, like,
My worldview is in there, but it's not a Christian comic book.
yeah.
No, I like
exactly.
comics. I like superheroes, and things are real, you know? So I try to play things out real. I can't stand Christian fiction. I just think it's so goofy
You
Yeah.
and unrealistic.
You don't like
Yes.
you don't like what Nicolas Cage movies?
Oh, no, I like
Okay.
Nicolas Cage movies.
So when I grew up in Utah, and any
Sorry.
of the
Yeah.
approved like movies and stuff that a lot of my friends were allowed to watch, they'd be like, oh my gosh, do you want to watch like Jeremiah's book? And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then they'd
Yeah,
like
that's
put something in, and I'm sitting here watching it, and I was like, do you want
That's some Seventh-day stuff out there, right?
No,
Yeah.
Mormons.
That's the Mormon stuff.
It's
Yeah,
all the Mormons.
yeah. So how many moms did you
This is
have?
the place, apparently, is what was said by.
Like, was your family like polygamist?
No. So that's the funny thing.
No.
There's the two sides. Well, this is what's funny, right? So there's the two sides of Mormonism, and my dad was brought up. Fundamentalist Mormons are the polygamists, and they're off in the foothills of Utah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then the other Mormons are the ones that are like all over in the valley. And my dad
All
was
right,
brought up that Mormon, and
Okay, all right.
hated it. And he and my mom were like, "We are not Mormon. We are born again." Like,
I like that. Okay.
yeah, like, and my favorite
I've known
part,
some Mormons. They're I don't want to like put anybody down if you're Mormon out there. I'm sorry, but the experience I've had with a couple of Mormons they're a little off.
they
were
can
just
be,
a
yes.
little, yeah. The family that I knew, they were just a little off. My daughter was dating their son, and I was like, "You can't date these people. Like, you cannot.
Sorry.
They're just off." I mean,
I'm just laughing
It's not
because you're like, if you're a Mormon, I'm sorry. Not like. Never
yeah.
mind.
I don't mean to offend you, but here I go.
No, I'm sorry you're Mormon. It's very unfortunate. You should
Very
look to,
unfortunate.
So, and that's,
look
that's
to
the thing
rectify
is,
that.
obviously,
Yeah.
I grew up around a lot of Mormons, and a lot of the people were nice. I just feel like some of their
Oh, they're very
thought
nice.
processes are
Yeah,
misguided.
Yeah, they're very nice.
But they'll help
I-
you bring in your groceries, and they'll shingle your roof for you.
Yeah, I
You
love
just
the
have to
story about
listen
the
to
guy that like faked Mormon documents and like got everyone believing that it was an albino salamander that talked to John Smith or whatever.
Oh, we're
Yeah,
gonna
that
have
was
to
great.
talk about this. I don't
Oh,
remember that.
there's a
That's
documentary about it. It's
funny. Oh
it's
my
hilarious.
gosh.
It's hilarious.
Well,
I'm like, man, this guy. Like, he like it took him a long time, but he super trolled
That's
a lot of
crazy.
people. Yeah. So yeah.
I will say, if you're ever concerned that you would go missing and no one would find you, convert for like a year. They will always find you.
They will find you. Yeah.
They sent.
That was the deal with this family. They had
Yep.
they had left the church. They were still Mormon, but they left the church and they didn't do it. Like they lived their life like someone was outside watching.
Because they are. I literally
Like,
moved.
that's jacked up. That's jacked up.
I was out front in this state. I haven't been Mormon for 8-9 years at least, and I wasn't Mormon for like most of my life. But I stopped going to church way back when I was stationed in England because I was like, I can't do this. This is too crazy. Like, I'm done. And they sent missionaries to my house multiple times.
wow.
They're like, hey sister, and I was like, I ain't your sister.
I actually
Turn around,
lived.
walk away.
So this was recent. It was a couple years ago. I lived on church property in the parsonage because I was a pastor of the church, right?
Yeah.
And the Mormons came to
No,
evangelize
they're
me,
fearless.
and I'm like, proselytize me, and I was like, excuse me, I understand that you're trying to proselytize me,
They try.
but I said, you see that building about 200 feet away? I go, yeah. I said, that's a Christian church, right? She goes, yeah. I said, well, I'm the pastor of that church.
That's my church.
Yeah, I said, so
Have a nice day.
I said, I've gone to seminary and I've spent my entire
John
life
Smith.
dedicated to Christianity.
John Smith.
I was like, I could debate you, Marty. Hail Chad, hail man.
I'm
Look to
sorry.
the east.
Pastor Dan just killed me. It's not fucking John Smith, man. It's Joseph Smith. Oh my God,
I think I said
I'm
John Smith. I think I said John Smith because COVID brain. It still happens to me.
It's fine. It's
Like,
just
yeah.
so funny.
Hey, what's up, buddy? Yeah. So yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
don't be
I told you
proselytizing.
I don't stay on topic. So
I
it's
know,
hard
we're
to,
horrible. Okay.
It's hard to tell what this stream will be about.
You
Anyway,
should have
yeah.
invited them
So-
in and played the Uno reverse card.
Yeah. So somebody talked about the Nitho Diaz cover. That thing is awesome. Nitho Diaz is a tremendous artist.
Is that this one?
That's one that right there. Yeah, that one right there.
Yeah.
He's a tremendous artist. He actually just got a job for Marvel doing some interiors. So I don't know that I will be able to afford him for the next campaign. But he did.
Isn't that horrible?
Yeah, he did this cover and he did the ladies pinup that I've got. Those are both going on metal,
Nice.
so you can get a metal print of those. In the tier, the metal print is 6 1/4 by 10 1/4. It's comic book size.
Uh-huh.
The add-on is like a little 5x7 version of it, so it's a little cheaper, but you can add on a smaller version. Agent Smith and Mormons confirmed.
Stop.
Yes, Agent Smith.
Horrible.
Hello. He goes, hello, Mr. Anderson.
Yeah. See, Neo was like a representation of Jesus.
Yeah. And the Mormons kept coming after him.
Yep. And multiplying.
They just multiplied like crazy.
And they all wore formal clothing.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. You can
All
spot
right.
him a mile away.
Yep.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Every Mormon that's backed my book just asked for a refund. Every one of them.
I'm
sorry.
sorry. This is like
All-
what,
It's
two?
okay.
All
It's okay.
one of them.
All
All
one
that
of them.
I backed it, but my mom found out.
Yeah. Like this is not John. This is not Joseph Smith approved.
I really
Literature.
love that you're sticking with the black covers. By the way, like
Yeah.
I love the artwork, and I always get like torn because I want the pretty artwork, but the black covers with the spot gloss are just so sexy.
Oh, they are.
They're
They're like
so good, and I've already
You know what they say,
started
once
the
you go-
collection with them, so like
Yeah.
I gotta.
Once you
no,
go hybrids?
No, Luke.
once you go
Dude,
Hybrids?
no.
black cover, you never go back cover.
I can't with you.
I don't even know what I said.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
We're
the
just
black
gonna
covers are
scroll
really
past it.
cool. Yeah. So
Metal
those are the
prints.
prints. That's
Yes,
a
I
couple
agree,
of
Will.
couple of sexy hybrids ladies in there. So that's a new character, by the way. We introduced a new character, two new
one?
characters in this book, technically, but one really takes her form in this book, and so that is, well, I'll just spoilers, read it anyway. Molly Rayner, she gets her power, and she will henceforth be known as the Necromancer. Though she doesn't like that. We'll find that out later, though. Spoilers, I don't care. You don't care. Read the book.
Spoilers, but
It's
deal
fun.
with it.
Yeah. It's
That
kind of a
is
small
cool.
cover for being black. Well, that's just its resting form.
Is
Once
it
you
a
open it, it
super
gets bigger.
thick cover though?
Once you open it, it gets bigger.
Girthy
Oh
cover.
gosh!
It's
Once
actually-
you open it, it gets
The book's actually 32 pages, but the black cover is 36 pages.
And
I'm
all,
not
all
even
those
joking.
last 4 pages say is if you stack these together, that's the
Yeah.
girth of the black cover.
I don't even, because it's a thick paper. I actually, I'm not even joking. It really is. It's thicker because the black, you can't do credits on the inside. So on the inside, first page will be a really cool pinup of the Nitho Diaz cover, and then the next page will be the credits. And it'll have 2 extra pieces in the back, 2 extra pages in the back. So
It's a
Yeah,
white guy,
exciting stuff.
14 inches though, so it's 6 inches.
Shelby, will my gold tablets
Guilty.
fit in that satchel?
yes, the gold tablets will fit in the satchel. So the satchel is a standard drawstring bag. It is available on my website. If you say, F this project, I don't want to get it, but I want the bag, you can go over there. And yeah, I said F it. Don't don't get upset. I didn't actually say a bad word.
You know what? I will fuck it. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Are
Lord,
we
right now
all
I just
still
pray for
alive?
Red.
We're good.
Lord, I pray for Shae.
Hey, I actually need those prayers though, like for real, for the.
I do. I'm praying for you. I really
Shae,
do pray for people.
I'm
And
going to
the,
call you Sister Shae from now on. Just
Please don't.
and the
Sister
truth
Shae.
and the truth is, I love the Lord with all my heart. My whole life has been better since I found Him, and rather He found me, and so I've dedicated my life to that. This is not a Christian comic book, but I'm always happy to talk about my faith. Faith does come up in it. Trash Man, that guy right there with the mini bus that we're doing, we find out in the book he's an atheist, but his very existence of being a Nephilim, part Nephilim, makes him have to challenge his beliefs, and so he deals with that. And so we deal with things like that in the book. We deal with there's actually one of the characters is homosexual, and no one knows. And I'm actually not going to reveal that in this series at all. It's going to be revealed in a side series that you're going to learn that about him, because it's not really an important aspect of his character. It's just something about him.
But see, that's the way to handle it, because just like we were talking about backstage, like it doesn't matter who, like why would I care?
Yeah.
Like what you decide to do or who you love or what, like that's it's a personal thing that is between you and that person.
I don't care who or what is between your legs.
Exactly. It
doesn't matter to me.
Did you just say I don't care who's between your legs?
Who or what?
Who or what? Yeah, who or what?
Who or what?
I don't. Neither one of those things.
That is an all-encompassing statement. That is a
very
fantastic
much
way to say it.
Yeah, but that aspect of him will come in as the human condition plays out. Because I think the thing that makes these supernatural characters really cool is the natural side of who they are. Right. And like with Trash Man, he's obviously this giant brick of a guy, with these amazing powers. He's closer to the 40% Nephilim DNA, but yeah, he's gentle. He's like in his relationships, and he has fallen in love with Chlorine. The good thing is in the remastered books, I was able to put back in scenes that kind of covered kind of his attraction to her early on. And so that's, kind of that's there. And he abandoned everything in his life to follow her into this new world. Right. And he found out that, there's people that are in need. There's people that are abducted. This guy, Rev, has family that needs to be saved. And he will always choose to do the right thing. Not because he has any really particular moral reason to do so, just because he's compelled naturally to do that. And so that's the kind of guy that he is.
Are the remasters, is that what's offered in this campaign? Or?
Yeah, those are also offered here. So remaster issue 1 and remaster issue 2 are both available in this campaign, and they both have additional scenes that kind of play out. Especially there's one in remaster number 2 that I like very much, where we kind of tie up. I didn't have room to tie up the issue with. Okay, I got to read that. The 6th Beatitude. Blessed is he who does not care who is between your legs, for he will be between many.
That sounds like some bisexual verse right there.
Shelby asks, aren't Nephilims eunuchs?
Well, do you know any Nephilim?
That's fair.
So,
not in this world.
Maybe that's just what they tell people to keep them from being scared and intimidated.
Yeah, no,
don't worry. I don't have a holy.
In my world, they are not eunuchs, and no, in some people's fiction, they are. In my fiction, they are not eunuchs, because there's no evidence. I didn't find any real strong reference to that.
I didn't find evidence of a lack of hybrid angel dick. So, yeah.
Well, okay, yeah, that was not where I was going to go with that.
Look at
but here we are.
This is what he's basing it off of. I saw Prophecy.
They had no dome.
Christopher Walken always has a dick.
Oh my gosh.
No, they're not Fudas. That's John Silvestri's book.
Yeah, that's right. So this is the art for the black cover.
Yes.
Let's just move right along. This is the art for the black cover. So I wanted to show like what it was, what is going to be on the cover because it's hard to see.
Yeah. This is
Dan,
Rascal. Where's Boob Dan? I don't know.
Because he said food is
Yes,
the
Yeah,
nicest
go.
word.
Everybody go.
That was
go.
last night's stream. Last night's.
Horrible.
Well, this is gone. Well, I mean, since we're here, we might as well just stay here, I guess. No, I'm joking. But no, as I was saying earlier, I my faith does, my worldview does come into the book. But I feel like, I do have an opportunity to, I live out my life as a pastor and as a,
Right.
primarily as a husband and father who loves God, and then as a pastor, and then as a creator, So when I create these books, it's not like, if I wanted to speak to Christians about Christian things, I would make a Christian comic book.
Right.
I think if you want to talk to, if you want people who aren't people of faith to understand your worldview a little bit better, you allow that naturally and organically to go into your story.
Yeah.
These aren't like 32-page Bible tracts. That's not what they are. They really are stories about people, and
Well, and
my
that's
my
what I
work is
like.
people.
That's what I like about when you said, so like one of the characters is gay, and you're not going to find out in this series because it's not relevant to the story that's being told. And that's what people like. A lot of mainstream comics and a lot of people that are super anti CG and anti indie don't seem to understand is it's not whether someone's gay or not gay. It's none of that is what matters. It's the fact that rather than writing a compelling storyline and giving characters actual life where it feels like they're relatable in any way, you make their only personality trait their sexuality, and that I don't care what your sexuality is. If that's your only personality trait, like you are a sad individual that needs to go find like a hobby or an interest or something.
I've never had anyone in my life narrow me down to my sexuality, and I don't feel like that's fair. I think I don't feel like that's a good thing. Yeah.
Shut up, Cyborg.
Okay, that's funny. That's funny.
You know what?
Touche, I like it. That's funny.
Nope, we're moving sides.
Oh, there it goes, Cyborg. I'm by myself, so here we are. It is now no longer the Red Valkyrie presents. It's the Purple and Pink presents. Purple and Pink presents Killing Field Part 1 through 3. And this is really awkward, isn't it? Like me by myself over here.
I wanted to see how long you were gonna go, and I was like,
I would go the whole time. Stream. I would.
I know you would.
I mean, I would do. I don't care.
Look at everybody. Eric, it's your show, Luke. Shelby, go, Luke, go.
Hey, Shae, just stay there for a second.
Terrible.
It's a new show.
I knew you were going to do that. So I was just like, I'm just not going to say anything. I'm boycotting. Just enjoy the lighting.
Right.
So anyway, I don't even know where I was at. Like, I don't even know what I was talking about.
We got so.
Oh, but talking about. So my work is people.
Right.
Like I deal with all kinds of people with all kinds of problems and things like that, and so we talk about that in the, we deal with that in the book as much as we can, but primarily we're dealing with this major threat these people are dealing with. They're dealing with the fact that, there are their brothers and sisters are being abducted and tortured and used to create a drug, and this drug is going to mess up people from all around the world, and that there are, technically that once they get rid of this major threat of Azazel, there's going to be, whenever you cut one head off, it's like evil is like that monster where two heads just come back,
Yeah, the Hydra.
Yeah, it's like the Hydra. So they've got this issue, and they know, but they're trying desperately to put a stop to at least what they can impact. And so so as we're telling that story, we take away all the hope that we start out the arc with. But I promise you, in the next arc, I resolve things beautifully. So we do resolve things very well.
See, and this is another thing. Like, I've seen a lot of comic creators who get really scared. Have you actually drank 6 cups of $5 coffee since this campaign began, or is that when the Indiegogo releases the funds?
I've drank 6 cups of $5 coffee today.
Wow.
Yeah,
Expensive coffee.
yeah.
What I was going to say is a lot of
There's
people...
a Starbucks not far away. I hate
a lot
giving
of
them
people
money, but it's delicious.
get caught up in their indie characters, and they start to treat them like they're these precious little things that can never like see adversity.
Get
Well, they're my family and
scratch.
friends.
And
Yeah.
it's like,
Grow.
yeah, and I love that you're like, yeah, it's gonna be brutal. Yeah, a lot of our characters are gonna have, you know, really shitty times, and there's a lot of conflict.
Someone or someone's is going to die, and the majority of the team is going to walk away with physical and emotional scars for life. And we're going to
Right,
leave that
because
in them in the story.
That's just the reality. That's the
Yeah.
reality of what they're going through.
But this will make them
is a work.
stronger. This will make
Right.
them stronger, make them the heroes they need to be. See, here's the deal. You know, a lot of you know that I just beat a battle with COVID. I'm still recovering. They expect I've got probably another 8 months or so of physical therapy to get back into about 95% of where I used to be. Thank you. Just bought Luca Grande Mocha. Thank you. Thank you. I love the Grande Mochas. Yes, fuel. I always say fuel the creativity or feed my beautiful mind babies. Because these are family to me.
Yeah.
These characters are family to me. But here's the thing. I just beat this whole COVID thing. You know, I wouldn't necessarily want to go through it again, but I wouldn't change it because I've grown a lot through it. I'm a different person on the opposite side of this, and I need to be the guy that I am today. It makes me better. I'm more empathetic.
Yeah.
It makes me better. I'm also slightly less trusting because I woke up to some pretty bad stuff. You know, getting kind of screwed over in a deal that turned out to be false. And yeah, it's just. But what I've learned in my life is that mountaintops are great, but the valley is where life happens and where growth happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, think about the mountaintop is covered in snow and the air is thin. Not a lot of things live up there, but it's in the valley where all the trees and plants and where the water flows, and that is a beautiful thing that happens there, even though it's sometimes ugly, you know, and dangerous.
That's what I really appreciate about like you as a person. One of the
I
reasons
will not cease and desist.
One of the reasons
that.
why I consider you such a good friend is because you understand that just because you go through something shitty, it doesn't mean that you have to become a shitty person. It doesn't mean that your life ceases to be. It just means, okay, so we had a shitty moment. Yeah. And now we've got to come back from that. So how do we come back from that?
You choose. It's about taking the next step and just putting one foot in front of the other and getting through that. And so I've had to do that quite literally with my life right now.
Right.
Yeah, I won't cease and desist. F around and find out, right? That's the Gen Xer way, right?
Yes, we were just talking about this. F around and find out.
I'm not to be trifled with. I think that's the other thing. I've come back with like that. Don't mess with me. I don't even care. Like I almost died. Like there's literally try to cancel me. I don't care. I'm like,
you know what?
Come back.
I'll just show you after the best going away gift I ever got. It's a little tapestry that was hand stitched. Like
I would love to see that.
Do the embroidery. And it says, "Behold the field in which I grow my flux. Lay thine eyes upon it and see that it is barren." And they literally stitched a barren field. And that was my going away gift from one of my assignments that I was on.
Those are gifts they don't give pastors. I'm telling you.
Oh, it was fantastic.
They don't give gifts like that to pastors. But you know, I can tell you that if your pastor is like acts like he's holier than thou, he's probably faking it. I want to be as a leader. I feel like I'm more of a shepherd than like anything. Mm-hmm. I lead from the front, and it's I want people to see the struggle. It's okay for people to see the struggle.
It is. I agree.
Yeah, I'm training for a 5K now with my therapist.
Oh wow!
I can get 0.7 of a mile. That's how far I can travel right now. Before I'm about to fall out, but we're working on it. And so the question was, well, how many 5Ks did you run? did you do before? I say run. I'm not going to run it. Did you do before you got sick? The answer is no 5Ks. But the point is, I want to prove that you can come back from a tragedy better.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of what happens with these characters. I'm writing it, and I've written this before I even got sick, because it was something in my head, in my heart, that I've seen people over and over come back better from tragedy over and over again, because that's my job, is working with people. No
Sai
case.
has done no case. Zero
No case.
case.
Zero case. Yeah.
All right, well,
yeah.
let's go through your perks so people know how they
Sure.
can back, because you have a lot of cool goodies.
I do. And there's a lot of add-ons too.
Awesome. All right, yeah, down with the struggle.
Down with the struggle, brother. Yeah.
All right, so your featured perk. Tell us about that.
My featured perk is really cool, okay? You can see it right there on the screen. I don't really have to tell you too much about it. It comes with all 3 covers. Not all 3 covers, with all 3 books beginning in the Killing Field Part 1 through 3. So here's what's interesting about the way I write a book. I write a book with the intention that it might be somebody's first book. So if I reference something from the previous arc, I just, that's not clear in the text, I put it as a little note at the bottom. And so you don't have to start with issue 1. You can start with issue 6, which is the Killing Field Part 1. So I legacy issue these books, and then each arc has its own numbering. So the first one was Trash Day. This one's Killing Field. So you can get all the Killing Field arc books 1 through 3 with cover B, so the second cover, which is Nitho Diaz did 6, I did 7, and Nitho Diaz did 8. So obviously I like Nitho very much. He's one of my favorite artists and a great human being. A lot of fun to work with. So you get that, plus you get a bronze 3D printed mini bust. So they are printed PLA, and then I do the faux finish myself. So they're limited to only 10, because that's about how many I can get done in a month, because I'm doing this by myself. And post-COVID, this thing still isn't working right. That's how much I can move this thing. I lost complete use of my left arm for a while, but it's coming back. So this is exciting.
I'm happy that you can at least move it.
Yeah, I can hold my phone with it now. I've got this little thing, so I can hold my phone with it. So yeah, I use it a bit now. So it's coming back. I don't know if guitar is going to be my future, but heck, art, I'm doing great with the art. It's like I feel like I'm doing even better than I did before.
You know what I wonder if it is? Is it maybe because art? Something I've noticed as I've started doing more art is artists get in their head a lot, and you end up second guessing and third guessing lines that you're putting down. And I wonder if the fact that it's like, hey, I wasn't able to put down lines at all. Yeah, and so now whatever lines I put down, I'll be like, those are good. Those are good lines. And you're just like, there's less guessing.
I had a very interesting experience too while I was out. I had a lot of dreams while I was there, but I have one thing that I considered a memory. And I went what I believe is to heaven. Oh, wow. And some people have heard that. I've talked about it on Clayton Barton's show, and a couple others. I've told the story a little bit, but we won't get into that tonight. But I think having experienced that and seeing that makes me perceive things differently visually, and so I think that might have something to do with it a little bit.
Very cool.
But I see that Past Master Dan would like to have a theological. I think he meant theological discussion sometime. I would love to do that.
Yeah, it would definitely be cool.
Theology's my bag, baby.
Well, he said theosophical, so I think he means theological and
philosophical
at the same time.
That could be cool. Yeah, that could be really cool.
All right,
theology's my bag, baby.
We can buy you a cup of Joe.
Yeah. If you're not into ancient aliens, conspiracy theories, movies like Taken and kind of that stuff, or even superhero comics and stuff like that. If you're not into any of that kind of stuff, then but you like me and you like what I'm doing, you could just buy me a cup of coffee and send me on my way. Yeah.
And look at what you get. You get Luke's undying gratitude.
My undying gratitude, and that means a lot.
Look, he almost died and he didn't. So that gratitude is like super strong now.
They tried to kill me and it didn't work.
Because he still had undying gratitude to give.
I did. I had undying gratitude to give. I like that. Yeah.
Die and give it. That's the
what's funny is I know that me living ticked a few people off. I've got a couple haters out there that I'm sure
You
they were
know
like,
what?
they're like, he lives. You know?
You know what, Luke? And I say this with every bit of love in my very Christian heart. Fuck them.
You know,
Right.
I knew there
Yeah.
was not going to be love at the end of that statement because if you listen really closely to her tone of voice, her voice was wavering so much in
Right,
that lead
yeah.
up. She's like,
It's like when someone says, with all due respect,
There's no respect there.
Yeah,
No,
it's like I'm about to be totally disrespectful.
Exactly.
I use that to say, with all due respect, because there is no respect due.
There is no respect due usually, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and like I say, well, I don't want to offend you, but here I go.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we've got the latest.
Yeah, this is just you can get issue 1 with the for $15, and so that the reason why that's a little more, it is a 32-page book, but we're including all. I was going to do one where it was just the just the book, but it didn't come with any stretch goals. It was going to be like bare bones cheap thing, right? But I'm going to do that after once it goes in demand. We'll do that and take this one away.
That's fair.
But I wanted to give everyone the opportunity to get all the stretch goals and all the extras that are going to go in there.
Yeah, since it adds to the stretch goals, you give them the ability to partake of the stretch goals.
Exactly.
That's fair. Yeah, that sounds fair to me.
Yeah, so we got that one, and then we've got the same thing, but it's just the Netho cover. A little more expensive because I have to pay Netho for his work, so that's a little more expensive. So we've got that, and then we've got where you can get parts 1 through 3, all with the cover A on those, and so that's $30. Actually, a really good value because if you're pricing it out, the book is 15, and then the other books went for 10 or 15 on their campaigns, and so
it's like almost getting a book for free.
Yeah. It's so basically what I'm doing, I'm pricing the new book at 10 on that. At 15 on that, and then just reducing the other ones. So that's how I'm working that out. So anyway, it's a good deal for you. So you can
It is.
You can jump in and get acquainted with the series with that. Plus, there's an add-on for the remastered issue 1, remastered issue 2, which are cool. But you can also, I've got just a few of them left. The trade paperback of the original printing of the trade paperback. So those are available for add-ons as well. But those are almost gone. So jump on those.
And this
Special
is
cover. Yeah. So if you're a collector of the black cover, there's only 2 ways to get the black cover this go around. You can't, I'm not doing add-ons for it. You have to get it. There is 40 available here in the special cover bundle, and then 10 available in one of the other parts. I think that's how it worked out.
So this is the only way for you to get the black cover.
One of the only ways, yeah. It's always with the bundle, and so the black cover's a $20 book, is what that is. So basically, you're getting the other 2 books for $10 each.
Yeah,
that's how it's working. So it is a discount rate.
I'm just gonna say, the black covers are so pretty.
They're sexy. Yeah,
like
really
it's so funny because when you see it on here, you're like, oh, the cover's just black, and it's like, no. The cover is spot gloss with a matte. So you have matte black with spot gloss with beautiful fucking detail.
And the first 2 books, I didn't think they could do gradients. Okay.
Yeah.
But they started doing gradients on the back, so there's a gradient, and so I found out that they can actually print a gradient. So I've added gradients to the cover on this one for the logo. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
And I don't know what it is about them, but they're just so sexy. I love them.
I love
see,
them.
like Tarek says, foil covers are beautiful too. That is
They
true.
are.
That is true.
Of course, I'm not doing a foil cover this go around, but we'll get to the special cover that I am doing.
Okay.
So you can get the Killing Field variants. So if you want all the variant covers, if you don't really, so that's books 1 through 3 of the Killing Field. If you don't like cover A's and you want those sexy Netho Diaz covers and then my Serafina cover, then you can get that for $50.
Nice.
Yep. This one's a really cool. So you get the Netho cover plus you get a metal print, which is comic book size of the artwork that he did. So that's going to be on metal. Beautiful, glorious metal. Phoenix, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Phoenix does great work, and it's so funny. I've only ever had one issue with it, and it still doesn't make sense. Like both me and Phoenix have no idea how it happened, and it only happened on on a print that was for me.
Well, that's, maybe you're cursed.
I know, and it was really funny because I ordered the same thing. So he sent me, like, I gave him for 2, and I was like, send this one to my mom for Mother's Day, her birthday, whatever. And I was like, the other one just coming to me. And mine had a weird ghosting, and I thought for sure my mom's had it too, but she was adamant that it didn't. And I was like,
Wow.
well, I'm not going to tell you where it is, because if you don't see it, I don't want you to see it.
Weird.
When I went back home, hers is perfect. Completely perfect. He reprinted mine and it ghosted again. And he was like, I don't know what's happening. I'm like, I don't either, because I saw my mom's and hers is 100% perfect. Same image.
Well,
It was a ghost gun.
I literally think it was just, I wasn't meant to have that metal print. My mom was. That was the point of me ordering it. And I got greedy and said I'd have one. And so mine came ghosted. I think that's what it was. But everything that he does is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
He's great to work with.
Yeah, I see Tarks9 is saying that he's talking about the first arc. Yeah, I did a very limited run of holofoil covers for the first run for the first 5, and they are gorgeous. They're gorgeous. So if you got a hold of one of those, that's very rare. Those are very rare. Yeah, I only did I think I only did like 5 or 10. I can't remember. Of each. It was very limited. Jeez. So yeah, we're doing the special covers now. You can get all 3 of Killing Field Part 3's covers with the metal cover if you're a big time collector, like some people are out there.
I like this.
Yep.
How many more days do you have?
9 or 10. Yeah, and it's technically my first 35. I can extend, but guys, I just don't know if I'm gonna have the energy to extend.
That's fair. Honestly,
this campaign has taken it out of me.
You've already hit goal, so if you wanted to just stay in demand instead of hard trying to promote it,
I would very much like to try to get 100 backers or another 40 backers. I would very much like to get there because that's kind of where I was before I got sick, and I expect since I was out for so long, it's going to be hard to do better. Like honestly. I would hope for organic growth, to have a little bit more than the last campaign. But I'm happy right now with everyone that has come out to support me. I'm overwhelmed and overjoyed by it. Super grateful. I would like to see the number go up a little bit as far as backers go, because especially because there's some stretch goal stuff that we'll talk about that I want to give people, and so I'm like, but I just don't know if I'm gonna extend. I don't know if I'll have the energy.
This is looking like my tier come payday,
pretty cool.
Which is
it's pretty awesome.
Friday.
Yeah, you get all 3 covers and you get that metal print.
I can't not have the black cover. I just can't. They're so pretty, and then that metal print just. I mean, I'm looking at it, and I could do this, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah. I try to make my tiers reasonable for people. I
can also do this, and I could have a metal print, and that looks really nice.
Yeah, the metal prints obviously cost a lot more.
Yeah, that's fair.
They add a lot to the mix.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is the big one. This is the big one right here. We got the metal cover, premium package. So basically, what it is, you're going to get issue 1 remastered, issue 2 remastered, parts 1 and 2 of the Killing Field cover B. You're going to get part 3 of the Killing Field, the black cover, the standard cover, and cover B is going to be printed on metal. So it's going to have a metal. It's going to be a metal book with the comic in the middle. So
gosh, you're doing it.
And you get 2 metal prints.
Yeah.
So that other metal print is only available in the secret tier that we put out to the mailing list. And so you get the one that's available for this for the mailing list people. So you get both metal prints in the comic book size. Now you can add on the print as an add-on, but it's in 5x7, so it's smaller. So it's not the same size. And then you get that cool drawstring bag. So
nice.
Yeah, so that's everything you get there.
So the remasters of 1 and 2, are those as add-ons as well?
They are as add-ons as well, so you can add those on. Now, with the next campaign, I hope to have 3 and 4 ready, if not also 5, because all we're doing now is lettering on all the art and everything is finished for the remasters. we did the remasters because we were supposed to have there was a company that was supposed to be distributing 9 different books from 7 different creators, 5 different publishers. They were supposed to be distributing our books to a retailer that was doing a test market, but we found out the lie detector test determined that was a lie. And so we found out that all of that was fabricated, and so we were unable to do that after we'd already printed the first book. So knowing that we had this deal going, which, Froggies, The Fellowship of the Indies, and also The Long Shots, you can check out those books on either one of those campaigns. Hybrids issue number 1 is part of it, but everything was getting remastered because I had hooked up with Randy Zimmerman with Arrow Comics, and everything is getting an Arrow logo on it. So everything that's getting an Arrow logo is getting updated in some way, whether it be a bit of art or lettering or something changes. So the first 6 books get adjusted.
Your 9x12 original art of Bone.
Yeah.
Holy hell! Did you underprice yourself?
I guess I tend to do that.
Sweetie,
But
if
more
I can
original
look at
art is
your
going up
original-
next week.
If I can look at your original art tier and go, I can swing that, you have way underpriced yourself.
Well, I will tell you this. I will, over the weekend, I will be doing a number of pencil and ink with ink wash, like gray tones. Little 6 1/4 by 10 1/4, like basically comic book backing boards. I'll be putting a number of those up for $50 each on the original art tiers this coming week. So
well, you just
have several I'm
jumped a
working
little
on.
bit.
Oh, I did. Awesome.
You
Thank
got
you.
another backer.
Thank you. It looks like I got a couple more backers.
You might have.
So thank you.
And you'll be getting another backer. I gotta just staring at my bank account, going like, is it payday yet? Like I could.
Yeah.
But then if something happens and I need to like eat something other than ramen, I'm gonna be fucked.
Yeah.
So
What's really cool is we just unlocked at 3,500 Luke size.
thanks Nita for the sister
Thank you.
Shae.
Thank you, Nita. Nita's great people. She's really good people.
She's such a sweetheart. Enjoy feeding your little heathen.
Check out the Raging 2 network
Yes.
that she's doing over there. My show Nerd Bacon is on there, which is a lot of fun.
Awesome.
On Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern.
And that's what makes Frog G's question earlier make more sense. What's your favorite breakfast food and why is it Nerd Bacon?
Because it's my show. And it's delicious. It's delicious.
Yes.
Yeah. So we just unlocked the patch.
Patch?
So yeah.
Wait, did you list
I
out?
Didn't list it out on there.
Ah,
I gotta update it tonight. I was gonna update it before the show. I'm so sorry.
it's okay.
I'm so bad.
Look on the right.
I was so tired. It's on the right. There at the bottom.
Oh,
That little bone chibi patch.
yes.
Everyone will be getting that. Iron on too, so you don't have to worry about sewing it on. So you
By
can
the way,
press it on anything you want.
Thank you so much for having a picture of this on a white fucking background so that I had to go in with a 2-pixel eraser and go around the edge to try to get it cut out right.
I'm very sorry. That's the only picture I had, because they printed it from the company and showed me the sample. They sent me a picture of the sample, so that's how I get the picture. I don't actually have them yet.
On that measurement paper? That they did?
Yep. So I need to know how many I have to order before I send in the order. So they're ready to go.
Can I just say, your last campaign with the chlorine chibi?
Chlorine, yeah.
Oh my gosh! First off, the most adorable patch ever, and secondly, holy shit! You hooked me up, sir?
I did. I'm gonna hook you up again. I always hook people up. But yeah. So I figured, it was only fitting that, since I did chlorine, I should do Bone, her brother.
Yeah.
So
I like
so we
that
got Bone in there.
like for her, she's like this whole cute chibi, whatever. And for him, you're like, nah, because he comes through these portals.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like super 90s bro, like, yeah, let's do
He
this.
is,
Like on
he
his
is.
motorcycle.
I
on
will
his
tell you.
skateboard.
So I created the story. Bone was the main character to begin with. Like my original iteration of the story, Bone was my main character, and I was like, Bone, her brother. Oh gosh, that's what she said.
No, because it just ran all together. It's a
Yeah.
boner brother.
So, but anyway, he was like the main character, right?
Right.
But when I decided to approach the story, in 2015 to start working on it, I didn't know if anyone was going to like the series at all. I thought, well, really only like conspiracy nerds and theology nerds would love this, and I don't know how many of those are out there besides me. So I did the first book. I decided to take it from the angle of Trash Man, so that we can kind of see the world through his eyes, because he was another character I really liked, and I thought
Right.
that he would be a great way to kind of introduce everyone to the world.
Yeah.
And so that's why I did that. And so we've unlocked the patch now, though. And but yeah, so he was like very skater, 90s skater guy back then, which is what I grew up being.
Yeah.
That's who I was. And so he is kind of who I was back then. So he's kind of vintage in an ironic way in these books. He does.
Awesome.
He's going to get sometime at the end of the year. He's getting a side quest kind of book that ties in to the next arc, and so he'll get a 3 or 4 issue miniseries in which he grows up. The Killing Field arc changes people a
Yeah.
lot, and
I would
so
imagine.
yeah, so we have to deal with that a lot here with these characters to do them justice. So
Splat.
Thanks.
yeah,
Thanks.
thank
Vlad.
you.
Y'all are funny.
Yeah, so that's so the next stretch goal, which we are very close to at 4,000, we're going to do an ash can, actually a full color ash can. We're not going to do it in black and white. The plan is to do it in full color. So we're going to do a full color ash can of Triple Play, the Archer character. So he's getting his own series, written by Shane Almond. Shane Almond is taking that on. He's a big Green Arrow fan. He,
cool.
he's loves that, and so when he found out about the Archer character, he just wanted to write it, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So we've partnered on that one, and it's going to be really cool. So at 4,000, everyone gets an ash can, and only the backers are going to get the ash can. So we're only printing enough for the backers. So I'm not even going to keep one. Yeah, I'm not even going to keep one.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sending them just to the backers to say thank you. They're for you, and I will sign and number each one of them myself. So that's what we're going to do. So yeah, very
that's
excited
cool.
about that. And so we don't have far to go, but I think we can get there. And then at 45, we're going to unlock another stretch goal, which is the Triple Play metal trading card. So that'll be added in, and everyone will get one of those. So,
Very cool.
yeah.
So, damn it, Splat. I thought she was wearing a pink hijab. It's not how hijabs look at all. But okay.
Yeah.
So you were talking about, obviously this is a lot to try and keep going with.
Yeah, it is.
With campaigning and everything. While it's in demand, are you going to still have stretch goals unlocked, or are you cutting it off after the 9 days?
I'm gonna. I
Thanks,
think
Simon.
that I'm gonna cut off the stretch goals
Okay.
so that I can get them printed and
Yeah,
get
that's
everything
fair.
ready and get everything together. I'm toying with the idea of maybe doing it, but really I don't. The best bet is if you want the stretch goals is to get in now, because there is a 90% chance that this will not get extended, and maybe a 10% chance that on the day, if I'm feeling pretty good, then I might say, okay, maybe I can do this for another 25 days. But
If you're
honestly, I
having a
doubt that I
good
can.
day, maybe.
Maybe. It's just this campaign, I knew, because I've campaigned obviously a lot of
Right.
times, I think
Yeah.
I've got 25 different crowdfunding campaigns under my belt that I've been a part of. I've got a lot of travel to do fulfillment for long shots and a fellowship at the Indies, and I knew it was going to take a lot of energy,
Yeah.
and I thought I would be able to stay on top of it. But I mean, there's been days and days where I just couldn't even get on a stream, and
Yeah.
so
And that's entirely understandable with everything that you've been through. And I think that while, you know, obviously everything that happened kind of put a little damper on how quick and how much hybrids was growing,
Yeah.
simply because now everybody's more concerned about if you're going to be here.
Yeah.
So that definitely put a little bit of a damper, and I think that a lot of people are still kind of, well, he's back, but like
Yeah.
give him space, you know.
Yeah. Well, and I don't want them to.
Yeah, I
I
know,
want
I
them
know.
to jump on because I'm drawing right now. I've got 14 pages left to do in the 14 of 31 pages, and so I've done a lot of work since I've got back
Yeah, you have.
of the Killing Field Part 4, which is the last part of this arc. It's brutal. It's brutal. Um, it really is. But I'm doing the work on that now. I don't want to take a break because I lost so much time. So we do have the quick play available as an add-on for this one as well. But we plan to launch. Last year we were going to be launching the full manual for the RPG, for the
Mm-hmm.
Hybrids RPG. Well, it was done like as far as written, but we didn't get it edited because I got sick. So
Yeah.
I was sedated the entire month of September. That
Mm-hmm.
was when this book was supposed to launch, was
Right.
September. And so this one was September. Book 4 was November, along with the RPG was going to be October. And so I was going to do September, October, November, be, have campaigns each month.
Yeah.
And then right now, and I was already going to have all the work done for the next arc, the Lifeline
Mm-hmm.
arc. So that those books would be completed. And so I was going to start in February, start crowdfunding every 2 months for those. So all of that got threw off.
Yep.
150 days in the hospital.
Yeah.
Um, but uh, the alternative was they didn't think I was going to live. They told me I wasn't going to live. And they told my wife to come in and see me because my numbers were just getting worse and worse and worse. And by a miracle, grace of God, and I think, my wife's presence there helped me to come back. And slow but sure I did. And now I had to relearn how to, every muscle was atrophied. I had to relearn how to hold a pencil, relearn how to eat and swallow, how to speak, how to breathe on my own, how to walk, obviously. At first, I couldn't hold my jaw together because it weighed too much. And I tried to, and my jaw would just shake because it was like trying to lift a weight or something, like a heavy weight. And I just couldn't close my mouth. It was crazy stuff. You can hear my voice is still not right. It
Yeah. A little raspy.
Yeah, they left me with the ventilator in for
Mm-hmm.
5.5 weeks before they put the trach in, and so they're only supposed to do a couple of weeks before they trach, and they went longer. My vocal cords got damaged in the process.
Oh,
So
jeez.
yeah, so I used to be a singer, can't do that anymore. Used to do
Oh
voiceover stuff,
no.
can't do that anymore.
Well, that's not true. You could just now you just do specialty voiceover stuff.
Yeah, I can do specialty voiceover now.
Exactly. You just
Yeah,
if somebody needs that grizzled kind of sound, if
Yeah,
somebody
like I
needs
was a
that,
PI that smoked 5 packs a day.
yeah, or
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm a super chill person, like you can do those real well. You could probably do
ASMR,
those
yeah.
better than
I
before.
can announce jazz
Yeah.
radio.
Yup.
NPR.
Yeah, PR, NPR,
Wonderful.
yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
this. There's all kinds of
Yeah,
voiceover.
there's
See.
job opportunities out there for me. But yeah, so that's kind of but I also, I lost, I had to, I had to get muscle back to do everything.
Yeah.
And, I used to play guitar. I can't do that anymore because I can't do anything with this really yet. Who knows what will
I
happen.
I'm praying that it all slowly comes back and you're able to do what you wanted to do again for sure
Yeah, yeah.
because you've had such a positive attitude with all of this. It's been really encouraging
Yeah,
because
well,
there's so many people going through so many things right now. Like it's insane. It's ridiculous how many people I know that are going through things, how many people I know who've lost people. So the fact that you have come back, yeah, inspirational, exactly.
thank you.
The fact that you've come back and you didn't come back pissed off. like nobody would fault you if you were
or
like,
depressed, or like,
right,
you know, look
no,
at how
and not
much
a
I've
single
lost, or any of that shit.
person. There's
Nope.
nobody out
True.
there that would fault you for any of those
Yeah.
feelings, and instead you came back and you're like, nah, I'm making comics, let's do this, let's go.
Yeah,
Come on.
the truth is, it's like no one really wants to hear the negative stuff anyway. But a positive outlook, is get you through that negative stuff.
It
And that's what I
does.
wanted to do. First thing I wanted to do when I woke up was make comics. I asked about the deal that was supposed to be in place and what we needed to do to get things lettered. And I had a couple books that still need to be fulfilled. So I'm trying to, on a letter board, try to tell my wife and daughter how to finish the fulfillment for the last couple packages that need to go out. Because the weekend that I was going to send them out, I went to the hospital. The week that I was going to send them out, I went to the hospital. And so, so it's just, it's just get out there and do it and make it. Now, I was a little nervous. My therapist, she found out that I could draw. She got some stuff that padded up the pencil so I could hold it. And she made me for an hour one day just draw. And so I just sat there in the gym and drew. The next day she came in with expensive pencils and paper and said, "Okay, now do it right," because it was it was a cheap mechanical pencil and a lined piece of legal paper. And she goes, "Now do it right." And so I would draw. And when I got home, it took me a couple weeks before I sat down at the computer to draw an actual production page, because I was so worried that I wasn't going to be able to do it. And so, but I didn't want to talk about it.
Fear is a real thing.
Yeah, it really was.
Thing.
But I sat down and first thing I did was I wanted to make, so book seven, I started drawing Chlorine's hair longer than I did in in book 6. And so I knew that I wanted to remaster something from 6 because it was from my old company, and it was going to be getting a logo for Arrow Comics on it, so it needed to be a little different than the other stuff. So the first thing I did is I went in and I redid the inks on her hair to make her hair longer, and I was like, okay, that looks like hair, that looks right. And so the next thing I did after I got done doing that is I did a couple of production pages for that remaster. I redid a couple of the pages and they look good. And I'm like, okay, these will pass.
That's awesome.
And
that's wonderful. My goodness. Well, you know what? We have been talking for an hour and 18 minutes. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And we could go for another 3 or 4, but
yeah.
I think that we're gonna probably wrap because we've got a really cool trailer that we got to watch.
Sure.
And is there anything else before we wrap? Like, Cyborg, do you have any questions?
No, and I hope you don't mind. I edited your trailer a little bit.
That's fine.
I just turned the volume down a little.
Yes.
And Luke, was there any last little bits about the campaign that you want to put out there for everybody before we end?
Yeah, I mean, if you can't back it, if you're not in a place financially to be able to do that, if it's not your thing, that's okay. But if you could please share it out to all of your friends and family on social media,
Absolutely.
It might be something that they're interested in, and so sharing it out does it does help, so it is always nice for people to do that. So I just please ask to go ahead and share that out if you can. If you can back we appreciate that very much here in the Stone household, if you can be one of the backers. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us, and Luke, we're gonna have to get you scheduled at some point a little bit down the road for our Writing Pros show, so we can bring you on and talk writing methodology and everything.
I love to do that.
Yes.
I'm going to be doing a master. People call it a master class level tutorial. I don't consider myself that, but we're going to be talking about how to arc out multi-issue stories for comics and how to the process on doing that.
Ooh, I'll have to tune in for
how
sure.
to build that.
Yeah. No, that sounds great. Thank you everybody in the chat for hanging out, and please do not forget to like this video, share it out with people, subscribe to Red Valkyrie if you're not already, and share out this amazing campaign. Share it with everybody you can think of. If you can't back it yourself, that's fine, but sharing is free and very much appreciated. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and we are going to watch the Hybrids trailer, and then we will see you later. Have a good night.
Good night.
Welcome to Hybrid, the Sons of God. In this highly acclaimed series, descendants of the ancient gods face off against a celestial threat. Our heroes begin to converge at the Stardust Hotel, where a deadly ambush awaits. Who will be the first to fall on the killing field? A fast-paced adventure where a Chris Claremont-era X-Men meets ancient aliens. Elements of drama, horror, and humor tell a well-crafted story. Complex character dynamics come into play as average people face unspeakable evil while learning to live with their newfound powers. Referred to as the X-Men I wanted to read, it is worth diving into the Hybrid universe now. With plenty of ways to get started at any budget. You can get your copy of Hybrids today, only on Indiegogo.